So Jennifer Aniston is in the news. She's being profiled. Is it Vanity Fair profiling her, Maureen? Who is it?
Vanity Fair, you got it. Cover story.
Okay, it's Vanity Fair, cover story with Jennifer Aniston. And Jennifer Aniston, you pointed this out on The Nerve. It's called Zen and the Art of Being Jennifer Aniston. They call her exquisitely maintained 56-year-old, a monument to self-care. Go on about how Gwyneth Paltrow and she are super close friends. They trade wellness intel. And there's a lot that jumps out at me in this, and I'll just tell you a couple things, then we'll get your reaction. She has weekly dinners with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel. Now, who could forget Jennifer Aniston's attack on J.D. Vance during the run-up to the November 2024 election for his childless cat ladies comment? And she acted like the victim. How could you? And also, you're trying to take IVF away, which was a lie too. And I hope your daughter never needs IVF care, since you kind of cretins on the right want to take it away. So she's a big women's rights supporter, Maureen. Like she never misses a chance. Jimmy Kimmel, who literally starred in The Man Show, which for years was doing segments like this one with the ladies. Watch. This is just a video. For the listening audience, it's literally women in bikinis on trampolines, jumping up, doing like the leg move where they go in splits in the air and the camera is underneath them. We can see up the dresses. And yeah, these are very fit ladies. And this is the most mild of what you could get on the Man Show. I got to say, none of which offends me. There's a place for this kind of thing. Like, that's fine. But these are not my rules. These are the left's rules, that you're not allowed to do this, or you're forevermore a sexist who should be canceled. That's the man she's having weekly dinners with, Jimmy Kimmel. And on top of that, who's another person who's usually there is Jason Bateman and his wife, Amanda. And this weird exchange happens in the Vanity Fair piece in which they say Aniston is in tune with her friends' kids, too. Quote, she almost makes us parents look bad because she's so incredibly attentive and consistent with her curiosity and warmth, says Jason Bateman, referring to Aniston's friendship with his two daughters, who are 18 and 13. She's the first one to call or text about big dates in the girls' lives. She has questions about boyfriends. Asked if she would qualify as an aunt, Jason Bateman replies, aunts you might not see all the time. She's almost closer to a co-mom with Amanda. What in the actual F? If Doug ever told Vanity Fair that I had a co-mom in my motherhood, I would probably punch him hard in the gut and say, how could you have been so stupid and clueless and cruel? That is quite the comment that he's making about his own wife in an effort to lick the blessed boot of Jennifer Aniston, who, this now brings me to your reaction, is still complaining about her press coverage, notwithstanding the fawning. She's exquisitely maintained and she parties with Jimmy Kimmel and she's like a co-mom. She's that attentive a friend. She's still whining, and you get back to the ultimate whine that we heard from her back in 2005. You take it from here.
So this, I just, God, the Jennifer Aniston thing. First of all, she's out in the media promoting her upcoming 3rd or 4th season of the morning show on Apple TV, which I hate watch. I hate.
Cannot stand it.
Thank you. That could have been such a great show. That could have been a really juicy, meaty, substantial show. Instead, it's terrible. But in it, she plays what she thinks is a very serious journalist. She's not. I got news for you, Jen. She's not. And she's in the pages of Vanity Fair on the cover. And this massive spread, which is very Meghan Markle adjacent, right? Like we're in ball gowns doing gardening and getting dirt under our nails. Okay.
Oh boy, don't get us started.
Right? Season 2. Anyway, back to Jen. So she goes, she says, you know, she's asked about the height of the Brad, Angie, Jen love triangle and the subsequent fallout. And she says, you know, I just don't understand it. And I guess if people didn't have their little soap operas to occupy their tiny minds, we gave them stuff in the tabloids. And that to me is just such an FU to American audiences who have followed this woman and loved her and taken up for her and made her wealthy and famous beyond her wildest dreams and frankly beyond her limited talents. Truly, we're not talking Elizabeth Taylor over here in terms of looks.
Correct.
We're not talking Meryl Streep over here in terms of acting talent. She lucked into the greatest pot of gold one could luck into. Just shut up and be grateful. That's it.
Yes. Here's the exact quote. This is her recalling the 2005 interview she gave to Vanity Fair. So, here we are 20 years later. It was the first interview she gave after news of the divorce broke. And she says in this current issue, it was such juicy reading for people. If they didn't have their soap operas, they had their tabloids. And of the media frenzy, she says, it's a shame that it had to happen, but it happened. And boy, did I take it personally. They were sort of building us up and then tearing you down, she says, before comparing herself to a piñata. They think you signed up for it, so you take it. But we really didn't sign up for that. You didn't? How did she not sign up for that? She was on the cover of Vanity Fair without her pants on and inside the spread without her pants on. And she was often without her pants on in the photo shoots she's done over the years and has coveted attention and publicity with the best of them, Maureen. You did sign up for it. This is America. You take the good with the bad when you willingly become a public figure.
100%. And her marriage to Brad Pitt, it's the same when Carolyn Bessette was like, I didn't realize marrying JFK Jr. meant I'd be a media target. Hello. Yes, you did. You did. Same with Jen Aniston. You don't want that attention. Don't marry Brad Pitt, the biggest movie star on the planet, who, by the way, leveled her up to the film career she was so desperate for when she was on Friends.
True.
Remember?
And Meghan Markle, by the way, same exact thing.
Same thing. It's so rich to me. And then she's bitching about the media while she's promoting a show in which she plays a journalist on a morning show. So we're media. You can't have it every way you want it. You just can't.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The nerve of this woman to actually get that out there and say, the people, like they had their, if they didn't have their soap operas, they had their tabloids. Okay. So you are the one who put yourself in the public eye and cultivated and chased after this kind of attention. No one would be talking about you if you hadn't put yourself in the public eye, become an actress. And on top of that, because there are actors out there who don't run around coveting extra attention beyond their acting. But she did. She was in all the magazines. She gave tons of interviews and did tons of magazine spreads, but gets upset when the media coverage goes beyond what she's authorized. That's not the way it works. Just be grateful that there's interest. That interest is why you have several multi-million-dollar homes and cars and this luxury wardrobe and why you keep getting cast in these movies. So shut the fuck up. No one wants to hear your complaints about how people like their tabloids and their soap operas. You're damn lucky they do. That's why they find you mildly interesting.
Yes, and the hypocrisy to complain about it. Number one, to your point, Julia Roberts, when do you see her? When she's not shooting a movie? You don't see her anywhere.
Yes,
she's
that's
way
right.
more famous and beautiful than you, Jennifer Aniston. Secondly, she talked recently, I don't know if it was in the Vanity Fair piece or elsewhere, but the whole Brad, Angie, media frenzy, right? She's offered, her next role that she's offered is a movie called The Breakup with Vince Vaughn.
Oh yeah, which she did.
A longtime couple breaking up, and it was a comedy. And she said her agent was a little bit wary because he thought, this might be too much of a tender spot. But she thought, no, this is the next thing I do. And she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew by doing a film like that, she was going to be extending this narrative of her as the jilted woman who, by the way, if you don't want to participate in tabloid media, don't pose pantsless on the cover of Vanity Fair, spilling your guts about how Brad and Angie wronged you while looking like you're proving you're still ultra effable. You cannot, this explains the boyfriend. The lack of logic explains the boyfriend.
The boyfriend's, okay, we're doing him next. But I want to say something about Julia Roberts. So yes, 1,000 times yes. And I'm not even particularly a Julia Roberts fan, but I respect how she's handled her private life as a mega star by any measure. Not only does she not suddenly get photographed at Starbucks like J-Lo manages to make happen every where she goes. Oh, J-Lo's in Italy. Oh, J-Lo's in Paris. Oh, J-Lo's where she's on a yacht. We've never not seen a vacation she's taken. Gee, how does that happen? And but Julia Roberts, I remember reading a story about her. She's the opposite of like a Kim Kardashian. Somebody once got a photo of her kid, and she was in her car with her kid, like dropping her kid off at school. And Julia Roberts got out of her car, stopped her car, got out of her car, went over to the car of the paparazzo who was taking the photograph and knocked on the window and said, do not publish that. That's my child. I have not made my child a public figure. It gave him, read him the riot act, and the guy did not publish the photo. Respect. I have to say, I've done the same with my kids, and there are, not to compare myself to Julia Roberts, she's truly a megastar, but I'm just saying there's a reason you've never seen Julia Roberts' kids in photos. She makes sure that she doesn't use them to propel her own career. So while she's not my personal favorite, I respect all of that. And there's a way of being a megastar without cultivating that kind of attention. Jennifer Aniston could take a lesson. Okay, let's talk about the boyfriend. So who is this guy? He's a hypnotist and wellness guru.
He's a professional hypnotist. He's not just any hypnotist.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry to correct you. No, his name is Jim Curtis. He's this like good-looking guy who's been bouncing around town forever. And she started liking his stuff on Instagram. And he's written several books. I ordered one off Amazon, and I wish I had it with me. It's called Shift: Quantum Manifestations for like altering your consciousness. And it's like a tiny little pamphlet of a book that has like a bunch of QR codes in it. So you can go link to his app and put money in his pocket.
Sure.
And it's like it's like inanities. Like, here's a page with like tons of lines. There's a lot of white space in the book and a lot of really big font. Write down, it change the word money to energy, and then write down how you think of money as energy. It's just like none of it makes any. And like,
wait, we pulled a couple of shots from The Nerve. So I was driving my car listening to this. I was laughing so hard, Maureen. These are great finds by you. This is why everyone should be watching and listening to The Nerve. And here's a sample of Jen's new guy pal.
Repeat after me. I don't force, I flow. I am a magnet for abundance and love. Repeat after me. My dreams are already on their way to me. I am a magnet and confident in my ability to receive. Repeat after me. I am resilient, capable, and ready to face whatever comes my way. I release fear and step forward with confidence and trust. Repeat after me. Love comes easily to me because I am love, I am loving, and I am lovable.
Okay. It's giving like serious Stuart Smiley vibes. Serious vibes, Maureen. What inanity, truly. Like, I am a magnet. I am resilient. I flow. That's how he got Jennifer Aniston, just saying he doesn't force, he flows, Mo.
My favorite part of this, too, is that as to Jennifer Aniston's besties, Jimmy Kimmel and Jason Bateman, whatever you can say about them, they're not total idiots. Like, Jason Bateman is one of the most popular podcasts going. Jimmy Kimmel hosts all manner of people and converses with them extemporaneously. They got to sit at the weekly dinners at Jennifer Aniston's and listen to this asshole go on and on about manifesting shit. They're dying. They're like texting each other under the table, like, making fun of. Oh my God.
Whenever I see something like this, though, I've learned this. This is like one of those things you learn, a piece of wisdom, if you will, over the course of your life. The people who are super into this stuff are the most unhappy people. Like they are the last people you should be taking advice from. Truly, you should be taking advice from people who are busy and have thriving lives. They may be tough to get it from because they're busy and have thriving lives. But the last person you want to take advice from is somebody who's in the advice-giving business on talking about flow. I'm sorry, I feel like Mel Robbins is in that group. This guy's in that group. They just sit around and try to think up profundities. And why do they do that? Generally, it's because they're depressed. And they have to think of something to make themselves feel better. And this is not the person you should turn to for making your life better. I learned this the hard way.
It's so true. And the other thing that I always find fascinating, Mel Robbins was coming out of a major depression when she struck on this self-help stuff. She was in a ton of debt, like a ton of debt. I don't even know how she racked up that amount of debt.
Shock.
She said she was drinking excessively, like, I'm going to listen to this woman who just came up,
Right.
These are not people who have extensive education in, say, philosophy, great minds, great literature, sociology. I don't know where their credentials are nil. They're zero. And this guy.
No, if the credentials are all in the self-help field, run. That's a problem, right? It's not the same as taking advice from somebody who's actually accomplished something in the real world and then says, hey, this is something I've learned, take it or leave it. The people like this who are talking about flow are a problem. It's just like, it's a glaring, I am a depressant. I am unhappy. I haven't been able to solve it. And I'd like to talk to all of those of you who would like to be as unhappy as I am. So what do we think the effect of the sparring between President Donald Trump and the Fed is going to be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Do we trust in that? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown as they slow roll any of their moves as they worry about his tariffs? And what exactly does all of this mean for your savings? You might want to consider diversifying right about now with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep it in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898, and you'll start the process of just getting the 411 on what it means to own gold. Consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead of the curve for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.